about Santiago pursuing his dreams instead of moving on from imagination and just staying rooted in reality. You know, he had a great thing going with his sheep and being a shepherd and getting to travel. And so I'm curious what you guys think about that decision to go after his dreams and not just take advantage of what he had right then and there.
Summer. I think we tend to choose whatever's easiest and whatever is in front of us, and I think it's really brave and courageous that he decided to go out of his comfort zone and actually pursue what he knows to be true about himself. Especially at a young age, we know that he's like 20-ish, so to do that at that point in life, he may not end up with any regrets whenever he gets older.
And I would agree with that. I was going to say the first thought that kind of stuck out my mind is like he's really brave because he's pretty much the only one in his family that has ever branched out and done something new, and so that right there is showing to me like kind of bravery, and he's doing something new and he's kind of walking in unfamiliar territory. One of that being the obstacles that he had to face, and this is Kristen by the way, was that he had to deal with loneliness. So one of the questions I had was, if you take it and put it in the setting of today, do you think that he would have to face the same loneliness, given what we have with like technology and social media? Do you think it would be the same? Obviously, we're not talking about in the context of him being a shepherd, but what kind of loneliness, or do you think he would even have to face that in the same?
I definitely do. One of the things that I found is that today, especially, even though we have all of that technology, I feel like watching what everyone else is doing and things that people, you know, if we're not a part of the things that we're seeing people doing, that actually emphasizes our loneliness. Like we feel left out. So it's like almost FOMO when we're watching other people doing all those things. So I think the loneliness still would have been the same. Just considering, yes, we are connected, but that connection can actually hurt us more and make us feel left out of things. This was Ashton, by the way.
Summer. I agree and disagree. I think that, like, even standing in line at the grocery store, people are on their phones because they're filling time, because they're uncomfortable not having anything else to do, and so they feel like fake connected almost. I think mentally it helps some people, but there is still a lack of like human interaction with the internet and the Facebook and all of those things. But I think that it does give you, it gets rid of loneliness for some people, at least momentarily.
I kind of take that as, this is Deb, when he decides to do something that his family at first doesn't really understand or get, I think in some way that can be kind of polarizing or create some sort of loneliness, because if your parents don't understand the decision that you're making, perhaps you feel like you're missing a connection with them in some way. Like, for example, my parents have completely different careers than teaching is, and so sometimes I think they try to be understanding, but they don't really know what I'm going through trying to become a teacher. So I feel like maybe even today, if you know, a 20-something decides, oh, I want to, I don't know, join the military or something, that can be really scary to a parent, or like they don't get it, they don't understand why you want to make that sacrifice. So I think maybe sometimes like our parents not understanding our choices can make us feel lonely in that way too.
Just because you don't have that familiar support.
Yeah.
I would kind of add on to that, maybe that's why it's important to have like a network. Like I think our English team is really close, and we have a really strong network that we can help each other through these times, but unfortunately Santiago didn't have that.
We didn't have
Except
this
for
English
she-
one team.
Yes.
Kind of going off of all of the ideas that were mentioned about loneliness, you know, his parents, and then the brave